It's Wednesday, May 2nd, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we have barking news. We talk traffic with the Cape Cod Commission, and we take a walk down to the harbor for a warm welcome to the season. But let's start with some news you can use. And just like that, we go from winter to summer. Dig out those flip-flops and short-sleeve shirts this week. Today, expect abundant sunshine, a warm 70-plus degree day, and winds southwest 15 to 25 miles. Pack a picnic dinner and head to the beach and catch the sunset at 7:40 p.m. Low overnight around the low 50s, and tomorrow looks even warmer. 3 cheers for the Army Corps of Engineers and the bridge construction crews. Sagamore Bridge is open. The repair work on the Sagamore Bridge is nearly complete. The contractor, Arzappo Corporation of Stoughton, Mass., is now off the bridge and all 4 lanes are open. During the next few days, the contractor will continue to perform off-road work and removal of signage. The Army Corps of Engineers thanks the traveling public for their understanding and patience during the execution of these necessary repair activities. Now, woof! A barking news alert. This just in from the town clerk's office. We have a 2018 Best Barnstable Dog winner. This and more from Town Clerk Ann Quirk. We're breaking into this newscast with a barking news update. Barnstable's best dog has just been chosen. With me today, Ann Quirk, Town Clerk. We've got a Barnstable dog, #1 in the whole town.
In the whole town. We have #1, Maddie.
Maddie. Oh, isn't she beautiful?
She is a beauty.
Yeah, her parents must be very proud.
Very proud parents. They called earlier to see if we'd picked that name. We have it, Maddie won.
What a wonderful contest to kick off licensing your dog.
Yes.
You also had a Barnstable Best Dog #2 and #3.
Yes, we do. We have Hudson came in second, and Hudson's mother is Deborah Bennett, and Callie came in third. And her parents are Lee Weil, or Wheel. I'm not quite sure how we pronounce that.
Okay. So you had quite a few dogs up there on the board this year. It was a pretty good kind of like people wanted to get their dogs out there and get that #1 tag.
They sure did. I think we had 32 dogs this year.
Wow.
And that's wonderful. And it's fun for the people that come in. Yeah. The little kids, everybody, they want to look at the board. They want to do what, can we vote? Sure. You go ahead and vote.
Excellent. But that's to say, now that this contest is over, you still have to license your dog. So let's remind people.
Yes, absolutely. We are selling the dog licenses as we speak. The neutered or spayed dog is $7, and a male or female is $10. And it's pretty reasonable, and it's good for a year. Okay. But they do have to come in, and they do have to register them according to the state. Okay. So it is a state law.
Right. And they'll need a valid rabies certificate?
Yes. If they have recently received their rabies, yes, they will. If they've never registered their dog before, yes, we'll have to see that.
Okay.
But usually we kind of keep up with that over as time goes by. Usually it's a 3-year shot, so.
Okay, excellent. So, and they have up until, I think it's July?
Every dog should have their new dog license by July 1. We let that extend. We let it slide until July 30th. But yes, please, please, please come in and take care of that.
Excellent. And I did want to do some congratulations to you. You're a Master Ninja Town Clerk now. The International Town Clerks.
Yes.
Your designation was just announced.
Thank you. Yes. Master Municipal Clerk through the International Institute of Municipal Clerks, which is all over the country and overseas. So it's an organization that I've been a part of since I became an assistant town clerk and have been working towards this for many years, and I'm happy to have finally earned it. So.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Ann.
Thank you.
And then we had one other little thing that you just hot off the presses here, have the email with you, is early voting has been approved again for this coming
voting season starting in November, September. Well, November specifically, as people were do a lot of the early voting. So you don't have a lot of details, but what do you have?
What I do know is that the Senate has passed an amendment to have us do early voting for the primary, which was never a part of the original bill.
So that's September.
So the election is the day after the holiday, the day after Labor Day in September. It means that we will be doing early voting in August, but I don't have dates yet.
Okay.
Because they just passed this.
Okay.
The worst part of it, though, for all of our residents is they passed it without any funds. So again, we taxpayers are the ones that are going to take care of this and have to find the way of doing it.
Right, and it seems like nowadays people are taking advantage of early voting much more than they used to.
Yes, I would say rather than doing absentee balloting, it's kind of, our absentee balloting used to be very, very high for, say, a presidential election. We had early voting last presidential election, so they kind of evened off. The turnout, however, total turnout was 77% of the voters, and it was 77% 4 years ago and 77% 4 years before that. So it really didn't change the number of people voting, just how they voted.
Just how they voted, yeah. Well, part of it is it's not a national holiday, which I've always believed it should be. So you don't have to plan your work schedule and the lines that sometimes happen in presidential elections. Waiting for some of our precincts, which are heavily populated, can be problematic for people who do want to vote.
Absolutely. And there are times of the day when it's worse than others, like first thing in the morning or right after work time. Those are tough because people are all coming out at the same time.
Exactly. Well, we'll look for updates. Let's hope there's some funding that comes into this at some point in time, but we'll talk to you soon and see what you have for updates.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
Across our roadways, traffic is not just a summer challenge anymore. And Stephen Tupper, Transportation Program Manager from the Cape Cod Commission, joined us in studio to talk about the Transportation Improvement Program and the Unified Planning Work Program. Getting around Cape Cod, the town of Barnstable, and areas all around us always seems to be bottlenecks here and there, but there are plans and there's definitely some things happening. So with me today is Transportation Program Manager for the Cape Cod Commission, Stephen Tupper. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
You have kind of some good news for us residents here on the Cape as we travel around. There's some programs out there that are starting to gear up. Some money's already been allocated, and then there's some other things that are more in the planning stages. Let's start with the ones that are already allocated and things are, so that is called the Transportation Improvement Program?
Correct. It's a plan that outlines the planned construction projects over the next 5 years that involve some federal funding. So these are the big roadway projects you see out there. And right now there's a plan out to outline what those projects will be, and certainly some interesting ones to residents in the Barnstable area.
Sure. One that caught my eye right off the bat on your fact sheet here is that that bottleneck on 28 in Yarmouth Road area. So give us a little update on that one.
So that's about a $10 million project, a really significant overhaul of that intersection, Route 28 and Yarmouth Road. I think the main pain point, although there's a few in that area, are folks leaving Hyannis trying to get up to Route 6 at exit 7. So you're going to see 2 left-hand turn lanes there to really help process those vehicles there, and really great improvements for all motorists and non-motorists. We certainly see cyclists and pedestrians out there, and it's a challenge for them today, so it'll be a great improvement.
Right, so when is that scheduled? Do you know yet? Or?
Yep, so we'd probably see construction at the end of 2019 or into 2020 for that project.
Okay, so we've got to wait a little bit, but you know, relief is in the horizon.
Certainly.
And then the other one that caught my eye that I thought that residents of Barnstable would really appreciate is the shared use bike path in the Beers' Way construction area.
So certainly folks are used to the construction at the Beers' Way 28 intersection right now. So what this project would do would be really just a continuation and bringing a shared use path all the way up to 132 to really connect a lot of the neighborhoods down in that area up to a lot of the commercial activity, so you can get there without a car.
Right, so that can happen now as the construction's actually finishing up for the 28 piece of this, right?
That would be the hope. That it would be really a continuation, and hopefully wouldn't have two disruptions for motorists. You just see one great project at the end.
Right. And how about any other project that strikes your eye on that one?
Well, I think it's interesting to see the diversity across the region. So
Right.
we've got projects from Bourne all the way up until Provincetown actually has a project for the first time in this plan. So they're looking at improvements to Shank Painter Road. So
Definitely
good to see.
needed.
Mhm.
Excellent. And then your second piece here is the Unified Planning Work Program, and that's a little bit different. Can you give us the difference between the two programs?
So, sure. So the Transportation Improvement Program is to fund the construction of these projects. The UPWP, Uniform Planning Work Program, a real mouthful there, is really the planning studies. So we do that ahead of time to try to understand what the community wants, what are the real needs. And both of these plans are both for roadway projects and for transit as well. So we look at really what are the needs of everyone trying to move around the region.
Okay. And the Unified Planning Work Program, there's some things there that, as we were discussing pre-interview here, the Mashpee Rotary is on that list. Tell us about that.
So second to the bridges, that's something that everyone talks about when we're out in the public. It's certainly a challenge. It's a real bottleneck for regional traffic, and then you also have those folks living in the area and trying to get to the retail destinations in the area, and it all gets mixed up in that rotary. So we're going to be taking a detailed look at that and look at a whole host of solutions. And really the point of this plan is to get out into the community early on and see what's acceptable to the community before you start it sinking into $10–20 million. You really want to do those solid planning work first.
Right. So how does the commission go about something like that to get the community involved?
So we have a comprehensive outreach process. We'll be hosting public meetings right in that area. We start by just simply asking the question, what are the issues you see out there? And then come back with some technical solutions, but really want to understand what the community would think of those. We try to get it as clean a presentation, really get an idea of what it would look like for folks in the room, and then really want to hear the feedback of the community on those improvements.
Okay. And how do people get in touch with you if they have some comments on that?
So all the information is up on our website, capecodcommission.org. Right on the homepage, you'll see opportunities to comment on both of these plans. You can give us a phone call, or you can send an email, stupper, Tupper, at capecodcommission.org. Always want to hear what the community is interested in, either in terms of a long-term plan or what they'd like to see constructed.
Right. And when we kind of like wrap this up with these two programs, why is it important to look at this regional transportation rather than just town by town? Why is the commission looking at it as a whole?
Well, simply put, the issues aren't confined to a border. People are maybe living in one community, working in another, other destinations throughout. So you really have to look at it as a system of roads, system of sidewalks, system of path, and a transit system as well. We certainly have some challenges here as a community in dealing with those, and the only answer is really to look at all the options for mobility. So that's what we try to do, look at a regional approach and look at all the systems involved.
Well, that's your job. and lucky that we have somebody like yourself, because you know, trying to get traffic moving on the Cape in the off season now is a challenge, not to even mention the on season. So thanks a lot, Stephen, for joining us.
Happy to come in.
Every language has a word for welcome, and in Hyannis, the town of Barnstable welcomes visitors down at the harbor. More than a building with brochures, Liz Hartsgrove, Consumer Affairs Supervisor, explains. Welcome to Bismore Park. This is the Welcome Center, and Liz, you're here today. You're not open on Mondays right yet, but the center is open.
It is. Welcome. Yay!
It's that time of year, finally.
Yes.
So this is a cute little place. What happens at the Welcome Center?
Well, we welcome you, first of all. So, yeah, there's a lot of people moving and grooving here down at the harbor. So with the ferries and a lot of parking and the artist shanties and the active harbor with the fishing vessels and stuff, so there's a lot going on, and then people need to find out information about our community and also other communities around us that we work off of each other. And so this is basically the epicenter. This is like where you can find all of that wonderful stuff of going on, activities you can do, how to get to places, where to stay, where to eat. We have copies of menus here, and then also what kind of services our town offers. That's what sets this Welcome Center different than any other Welcome Center. Is this is a town run, not by Chamber of Commerce, but actually the town. And so we talk about actually town services and what opportunities are available for residents as well as visitors and guests here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I come off the boat
Yeah.
and I'm hauling a suitcase. And I stop here first, and I get everything that I kind of need to navigate my way out into the town or anywhere else on the Cape.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's
Or
fantastic.
when they come towards us and go on the boat, or if they want to actually do the JFK Trail or any of those types of things, they can always stop here. We have clean restrooms. We have the Harbor Master's office on the other side of us, and we have a lot of activities and wonderful things for families here.
So there's a lot new down here in the harbor. You
Yeah.
guys just opened up a parking lot as well for like a 15-minute wait for the boats.
Yeah, exactly.
So safe and so needed. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so first thing that my staff has what's called the operational standards, and there's 5 categories within the operational standards, and safety is the first top category of it. So when we look at things down here, when we have control over it, or that we're monitoring and managing things, safety, obviously, it's really important. We have, like I said, we have so much going on. We have boats, we have cars, we've got people, pedestrians, we've got kids of all ages and people of all ages and backgrounds and nationalities where they're not really speaking our language or familiar with the area. So when we all noticed that there was a lot of congestion over closest to the Highline side of Bismore Park, we put our heads together and we tried to come up with a solution to keep everyone safe. And the 15-minute parking area, waiting area, was the first step in this process, is to allow people to have a safe, dedicated area for them to wait for their loved ones to come off the boat or to go onto the boat. And so it's really important, and we're really excited that it's working very successfully. It's been an initiation for about 2 weeks now, and it's working. So
Well, the test would have been this weekend with
yeah.
Daffodil Weekend over on Nantucket, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we did a big outreach on like a press release. We sent it out to all the taxi companies that we license in our community and all the livery companies as well. So they're aware of it, and it seems to be working great. Yeah, we're very excited.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about the parking in general down here at Bismore. It's all metered now.
It is, yes.
So people have to be paying attention that, you know, when they park down here, there's meters. How does that work for folks?
Sure, it is now starting tomorrow. It is 6 hours and a maximum. So if you need to actually park longer than 6 hours, if you want to go to the islands or stay even longer, then there are long-term parking lots literally right across the street. And so they can actually park, and there's meters there where they can pay through a credit card or through coins. And we even have, through the greeters, the gateway greeters here stationed in the Welcome Center, and then when we have multiple people on staff at a time, we have them actually walking out around the park.
Okay.
So they're easily identifiable. They have their green shirts on and their big logos on the back. You can definitely see where they are, and they will help exchange dollar bills for dollar coins to assist. So, and then they will also assist with questioning you if you're where you're gonna go before you put money in, before you invest in 6 hours of paying for 6 hours.
Right.
They talk to people and find out where is the best place for them to park. So that way they're not getting in trouble when they're over at the islands. We don't want them having tickets. We want them to park happy here.
Right.
So we help them find the right spot for them. So
And when they do find the right spot, they get a sticker, Park Happy.
they certainly do, or they get a pen, or they get all sorts of goodies that we give out. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
So who have been the guests so far, nationality? I heard you have a
Yeah.
welcome book and you have guests sign in.
Yeah, we've people all the way from Australia have already shown up, and Belgium, and St. Louis, Missouri, and that's all over the country even, and that's pretty impressive for our opening weekend. So,
That's fantastic.
yeah, it's really exciting.
Thanks,
So,
Liz.
Thank you.
Here's a look at our community calendar for today. There's a charming legend about sailors' valentines, which depicts the intricate pieces of art as something that would have been created in the 1800s by a bored sailor on a months-long journey to present to a sweetheart upon his return. While this legend offers a romantic explanation of the artwork, which incorporates thousands of seashells to create a detailed design, it is just that, merely a legend. Don't miss the Sailor's Valentine program today, May 2nd, at the Hyannis Library, starting at 2 p.m., featuring the stunning work of local artist Greg Roberts, now on display at the library. Widely considered one of the leading Sailor's Valentines artisans in the world, Greg's fascination with them began as a child. Greg's Sailor's Valentines are done in the rustic style originally attributed to the craft. Weldon Library in West Barnstable has free popcorn and a movie tonight. Come with your family or on your own to enjoy the Pixar film Coco. The movie starts promptly at 5:45. Popcorn and drinks will be provided. Children ages 10 and under will need adult accompaniment. Mark your calendars. Here are the committee, commission, board meetings scheduled for this week. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow for a Town Council update from President Eric Steinhilber and a look at some of the advanced degrees you can earn right here on Cape Cod through the Cape Cod Community College Partnerships. An American botanist, horticulturist, and pioneer in agricultural science, Luther Burbank sums up the feeling today. Don't wait for someone to bring you flowers. Plant your own garden and decorate your own soul. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.